In a world full of shallow connections, deep, meaningful friendships are like a breath of fresh air. Hello, friend. My name's Zach, and deep friendships don't happen by accident. They need to be intentional, and we're going to talk about 6 tips that'll help you take your friendships to a whole other level. Number 1, ask good questions. We ask terrible questions. How are you? How was your week? What do you do for a living? I am getting bored asking you those questions. We need to come up with some deeper questions. Like, what are some deep things? What's God doing in your life? What's one thing you're thankful for? The questions are the things that make a relationship deeper or not. You know, you could start with those general questions, that's fine. But what I found is we are so automatic with some of those. Like, how are you doing? We live in a fine culture. We're doing just fine. Fine. It's a lie, but we're so used to saying it that we're always fine. But what you're looking for in friendship is things that you have in common, commonalities between. I mean, that's where friendship's made. You want differences, but you don't want everything different. If everything was different, there's nothing in common. Then you're just going to sit there acting like you care about something you don't. But when we ask good questions, we can find out what things we have in common. My friend is helping me record this video right now. He hates to run. I love to run. I have kids at home. He doesn't. We have different things in our lives right now, but we also have a lot of similarities. We both love this channel, right? Yes. Whew. That was a close one. We both love God. We're both excited about the same ministry passions. Like there's a lot in common. We both love the outdoors. And your friendships are the same way. You know, there's that saying, not in friendships, but like in relationships, opposites attract. Well, no. There is parts, you want some things that are not the same. But you also need some similarities, some connecting points. And it's in the questions that you can find those things. And it's in the questions you can dig deeper. In fact, intimacy is all about knowing someone else more and them knowing you more. And this happens through good questions. My favorite questions, though, are follow-up questions. It's the question behind the question that digs down to another level. Number 2, pray for them and with them. One of the things that can really connect us is prayer. You know, in those questions, did you find out heartache or struggle or things they're looking forward to? Those are areas you can pray for your friend. And not only can you pray for them, but praying with them is a powerful connecting force. I mean, we're emotional and spiritual, physical beings. And when you pray, it's almost like your spirits are joining together in the same direction, praying for something. In fact, there's scripture about 3 chords being connected and who can break it. Like there is power in that connecting prayer. Number 3, check in with how something went. When you're asking about their life, when they're asking for you to pray, are you following up and checking on them? Or did you just forget about it? Sometimes I need to put like a calendar reminder. But when someone has a big event, check in with them. They have an interview and you want to know how it went. Ask them. They have this conversation that they're nervous about and you know when it's going to happen. Ask afterwards, how did it go? That's one of the most loving things someone can do. It reminds me that they're actually thinking about me, that they actually cared. And I think as people, we're constantly looking, do they really care? And what I found is when I pray for someone and when I check in on them, they'll automatically share more of their life because they've learned I actually want to know. Have you seen that in your own life? Where there's certain people that ask great questions and they pray for you and they check in on you. It makes you feel cared for. Number 4, fun and adventure. Look, we can't be all serious in our friendships. We got to have fun together. You got to joke around. If you're mean mugging everyone all the time, ugh. But having fun or going on an adventure. I mean, my friends and I, we went hunting together, or we've just sat and laughed or played board games or gone to a basketball game. Like, what are some things you can do with your friendships? It doesn't have to be all serious. I don't know what type of person you are, but I find that we're either having all fun and none of the serious conversations, or all serious conversations and no fun. Change it up a little bit and connect with your friends a little more by having some fun and adventure if it's not something you normally do. Number 5, call out the good. We need to be encouragers in our relationships. And oftentimes when we are self-driving people, we can be so focused on where we need to grow, where we need to get better, what needs to happen, what task needs to get done. I guess I'm talking to myself because I really struggle with that. I can be so focused on what I need to do that I can forget to praise and encourage those that are closest with me. You know, because they're doing some amazing things. They are amazing people. Don't be like the guy that joke where he's like, I told my wife 20 years ago that I loved her. She should remember that's still true. You know, our friends need to know what we think because it's too easy to forget what we're good at. In fact, what you're good at, what you're brilliant at, my friend, you probably just think everyone's brilliant at it. Your friends are the same way. Call out what you see in them. Encourage them. See, when someone has encouraged me on something that was probably like that big, I've made it that big. I've tried harder. It's made me want to be even more of that. All your friends are the same way. Number 6, forgive. If you're in a deep friendship with someone, whether it's a spouse or a friend, forgiveness is required because we're humans and we hurt each other. It could be an accident, it could be out of anger, it could be all sorts of different reasons, but we will hurt each other. Just anticipate that and forgive. I mean, I don't know which part of friendships you're more comfortable with. Some are great at starting new friendships. But the moment conflict arises, they let it go and sprout a new friendship. But my friend, you're missing one of the great things of friendships. And I have found that friendships are the deepest when there's been conflict. And we've met there and reconciled. Those are the friendships, those are the relationships that are deep. Friends worth fighting for instead of just against. So just know, if you want deep friendships, forgiveness is required. And you can only do your part, and you got to trust them to do their part. But my challenge to you is to ask for forgiveness more often than you do. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of us don't ask for forgiveness that often. It's got to be egregious or a big thing instead of, man, I don't like the way I showed up there. Will you forgive me? All right, I hope these 6 tips helped you to have deeper friendships. I know as I was writing this out, it just reminded me of what it takes in our intentionality to have deep friendships. My friend, it is worth it, but you have to fight for it. Have a great day, and God bless you and your friendships.